Hello, this is Maggie. Someone asked me what a 4-to-1 octave is. It's actually a double octave. And before I explain what I'm showing right here, I'm going to go back to a single octave. If you don't understand what I'm about to say, you must go back and look at my video about coincident partials and octaves, and I'll link that in the description below. Coincident partials in a single octave. You could have a 2-to-1, a 4-to-2, a 6-to-3, an 8-to-4, etc., but not really. If you don't understand what I just said, please go watch the previous video and maybe some others. 4-to-1 octave, double octave. 4-to-1, double octave. You line up the fourth partial from the lower note with the first partial, fundamental, of the upper note. That's as simple as it. That's the explanation. However, I'm going to go a little more here. Why would one want to do that? Well, it has to do with inharmonicity. So if I take my inharmonic strip and put it here, if I wanted these two notes to sound very good together, I could line up the fourth partial of this note with the fundamental of this one, but by the time the fourth partial of this note gets up here, it's quite sharp. So in order to line them up, I have to lower this note to move down the fourth partial and or raise the fundamental of this note up to where they line up. Now, keep in mind, I am taking this out of the context of tuning. There are many more intervals involved here. Usually we're making all kinds of compromises. So you may or may not want a 4-to-1 octave. A lot of people like them in the upper part of their piano. I'm going to get into that later. How do you measure a double octave? Well, with this note right here. Just like this measures a 4-to-2 octave, this measures a 4-to-1 double octave. And my double octave is wide. My piano is not in tune, so things are going to be a little wonky. And they're going to be extra wonky in a moment. I am going to talk about a triple octave very quickly. So that's my explanation of a 4-to-1 octave. More about how you would use it I will talk about in a future video. Let's look at a triple octave just for a minute. All right. If I wanted to line, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is so sharp that my eighth partial is actually up here. So if I wanted to line this triple octave up, I'd have to bring this note so flat or this note so sharp to line these up that when I space everything else out, my octaves and double octaves will be too wide. They will sound terrible. So the compromise we make here is to not do that. We leave the triple octave a little narrow. So a triple octave is going to be a little narrow, a double octave is going to be a little wide probably, and a single octave is definitely going to be a little wide in order to make all the compromises we need to make our temperament sound good. Now keep in mind when I'm talking about octave types, once again I'd like to remind everybody I'm out of context. I'm out of listening to the other intervals and the other compromises we make, so please keep that in mind. Octaves are not as simple when you're in the real world as I'm making them seem right here. But I hope this answered some questions. And I will answer more questions about octaves in some upcoming videos very soon. If you have any more questions, please comment below or email me at the address I will put in the description. Happy tuning!